good evening. You're watching the news hour at 10 and I'm Swati Joshi. RSS for all. That's the hashtag of our big story tonight. The last day of the RSS Future of Bharat event, the mega outreach, it ended in resounding applause. RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat, breaking all stereotypes against the Sangh, sent across a historic message of secularism. Taking his critics by surprise, Bhagwat presented a recasted RSS point of view, said that Hindutva does not exclude minorities. He also said that Hindutva did not approve of discrimination on any grounds. In fact, it teaches us to embrace minorities. Listening to Bhagwat's India for All message.
हमारा आह्वान राष्ट्रीयता का है, जो भारत के मुसलमानों की, ईसाइयों की, सबकी परंपरा है, उस परंपरा का है, उसके प्रति गौरव का है, मातृभूमि के भक्ति का है, वही हिंदुत्व है। हमने कभी स्वतंत्रता की या अंग्रेजों के आने के पहले अल्पसंख्यक शब्द का उपयोग नहीं किया। हम सब एक समाज के थे, एक माल में मिलकर चलते थे। ये बात जरूर है कि दूरियां बढ़ी है। अपने समाज के बंधुओं को जो बिखर गए उनको जोड़ने की बात, बिना कारण भय मन में क्यों रखना? एक बार आके देखिए, बात करके देखिए। और हमारी कोई बात गलत है या आपके विरोध से प्रेरित है तो फिर हमको पूछिए। ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, सही बात है। सही बात आपको पसंद नहीं आएगी तो भी हम बोलेंगे। जाति व्यवस्था कहते हैं उसमें गलती होती है। आज व्यवस्था कहाँ है? वो अव्यवस्था है। कभी ये जाति व्यवस्था रही होगी, वो उपयुक्त रही होगी, नहीं रही होगी, आज उसका विचार करने का कोई कारण नहीं, वो जाने वाली है।
Watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right then, let's open this up and go across to our guests. We're joined on the panel tonight by Dr. Sambit Patra, National Spokesperson of the BJP. We're also joined by BJP MP Rajya Sabha Rakesh Sinha. Ashutosh Mishra, senior journalist, also joins us along with Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, in the studio here with us. And Dr. Fuad Halim, spokesperson of the CPIM, also joins us on the panel. But before I go across to our guests, you heard the message from Mohan Bhagwat. The message was RSS for all. But there are some questions that are being raised. RSS claims excluding Muslims and minorities is not Hindutva. And the question that is being raised is, then when will Muslims and Christians get primary membership of RSS? Core group में इनको कब शामिल किया जाएगा? Another claim made was our agenda is same as that of Indian Muslims and Christians. Then why did RSS oppose a iftar party at the headquarters by a Muslim outfit close to it? Need to reconcile all groups which British divided. This was another claim by RSS. और इस पर लोग सवाल ये पूछ रहे हैं, why did RSS distance itself from a closely linked Muslim group? So let's open this up and now go straight away to our guests. आपने आरएसएस का व्यू पॉइंट भी सुना, मोहन भागवत का मैसेज भी सुना और जो इस पर सवाल उठाए जा रहे हैं वो भी सुना. लेट मी फर्स्ट गो अक्रॉस टू डॉक्टर फुआद हलीम. Dr. Fuad Halim, I've highlighted what Mohan Bhagwat said. You heard him on issues like Hindutva. He said saying Hindutva is equal to Hinduism is wrong. We are creating these divides and RSS is not against the minorities. So has the opposition lost an opportunity now to label RSS as fascist, to call it names like anti-minority and equate it with Muslim Brotherhood?
Well, if you go through Mr. Bhagwat's speech today, then one of the most what you call telling comments that he has made is that Hinduism is a closed process. Now I think so Mr. Mohan Bhagwat requires to speak to the people of India, especially the Hindus of India, and communicate to them that the entire idea of Hinduism is actually a closed process and Hindutva is different from Hinduism. That means Hindutva is a bit more liberal and Hinduism is taken care of within its boundaries. I think so that's the most unfortunate understanding of Hinduism that an organization that claims to represent Hindus can actually put forward as an idea to the people of India and especially the Hindus of India. Following from that, he makes a very significant break from understanding how the caste system functions within the context of Hinduism in India. He says that we as an organization do not ask for the caste of a person. This is not the RSS culture. He does not even understand that you don't have to ask a person in India his caste, because his very name identifies his caste. This is, I think so, the most unfortunate understanding of how the caste system works in India, and that too being brought forward by Mr. Mohan Bhagwat, who claims to have an understanding and wants to represent that himself as the pinnacle of what Hinduism epitomizes here in India.
So you don't agree with any of those viewpoints?
Which I think so is much more telling regarding the inclusiveness of Hindutva, of the Muslims and the Christians into it. He makes the most unfortunate, what you call, comment that Gau Rakshak should keep cows first. He is telling the people of India, he is telling his organization, he is actually creating the basis of the lynching process that's going on in India.
Very clearly said that lynching in the name of Gau Raksha is not right. और अगर आप गाय पालते हैं और उसको सड़क पर छोड़ देते हैं, that is also not Gau Raksha. That is also not Gau Raksha. But let me.
That's the forked tongue.
Let me take that across to our other guests. Let me take that across to our other guests. Let me go across to Rakesh Sinha. Rakesh Sinha, everything that Mohan Bhagwat said today, as per Dr. Fuad Halim, is unfortunate.
I am not surprised, because Fuad Ali could not understand the colonial construct of Hinduism. You know, there is no Christianism, there is no Islamism, there is no Jaivism, then why Hinduism? It is a colonial construct. Our Hindu way of life has a vast and open space. Here new religion, new sects, new philosophy born. There is no question of being a closed. So CPM is endorsing the colonial construct. We are coming out of this colonial construct. Second thing is that when he says that Hindutva is not a narrow concept. It includes all the modes of worship, which includes Islam also, Christianity also. This means Hindutva is akin to nationalism. Mr. Fuad Ali, if we don't ask the caste, can you tell me what caste I belong by my surname Sinha? I don't know what caste Sitaram Yechuri and Prakash Karath belong. Unless until I ask him and specify him, I don't know. The surname does not indicate the caste of each and every individual. It is the intention which is important. In RSS, Mahatma Gandhi came with his own initiative in 1934, and he was surprised, and he said it is a miracle that Dr. Hedgewar created a situation where a Mahar and Brahmins both together, living together, staying together, eating together, playing together. Because Mahatma Gandhi could know the caste of the Mahar and the Brahmin. When he asked, both the Swayamsevak refused to spell the caste. Then the Sangh Adhikari, Sangh office bearer, asked him to kindly tell him the caste. Then both the Swayamsevak told him that we belong to this caste. Mr. Fuad Ali,
Rakesh Sinha, you are raising a couple of very important points. You are disconnected with this. So let me take that across to Dr. Sambit Patra also, and then Ghanshyam Tiwari and Ashutosh Mishra. Dr. Sambit Patra, Mohan Bhagwat अगर ये कह रहे हैं कि हम कास्ट सिस्टम में बिलीव नहीं करते हैं और कास्ट सिस्टम जैसी चीजें जो हैं हमारे बीच में डिवाइड पैदा कर रही हैं, so shouldn't first of all that be welcomed instead of criticizing and calling it unfortunate? Question number 2 is, do you believe that the opposition has lost a very solid ground as far as criticizing RSS ideology is concerned?
See, let me answer it as you asked. Number one, Mr. Rakesh Sinha was absolutely right in pointing out as to what Mahatma Gandhi had to say about the casteless situation of RSS. And now let me just draw in 2 lines from what Dr. Ambedkar had to say about RSS. Dr. Ambedkar visited RSS camp in Pune in May 1939, and thereafter he wrote in English, and I quote, "I am surprised to find Swayamsevaks here moving about in absolute equality and brotherhood without even caring to know the castes of others." So I believe, it is my conception, that Mahatma Gandhi and Baba Saheb Ambedkar were far greater personality than my great friend Mr. Fuad Halim. When Mr. Fuad Halim reaches that height, of course I would debate him as well. Now the second question that you had asked me about, that why in fact our good friend is contesting everything that Mr. Mohan Bhagwat had talked about as far as caste system is concerned. Remember, these people who were acting as the torchbearer of tolerance, these people who were part of the Award Vapasi gang, these people who were shouting from the rooftop that Bharatiya Janata Party and RSS are intolerant, ironically they have been exposed, and their hypocrisy is shown in front of everyone today in the country. These people, when invited, did not go to the session of Mr. Mohan Bhagwat. If they had any doubt, they could have questioned Mr. Mohan Bhagwat. He was taking all the questions.
So let's take a counter on that.
They are showing intolerance over here.
All right, let's take a counter on that from Ghanshyam Tiwari. From Ghanshyam Tiwari, because the basic fact that the opposition always highlights as far as RSS is concerned is an anti-minority image or an anti-minority sort of an ideology. Well, Mohan Bhagwat clarified. He's answered those questions on anti-minority. He said RSS is open to all. RSS is for all. So why tag RSS as anti-minority?
Well, first and foremost, it is the biggest farce that is playing out right in front of us. It's a marketing exercise, and the farce is that BJP is different from RSS. I have seen firsthand that BJP leaders sit on a second-hand stage, whereas RSS leaders are at a top stage. These are chief ministers. This is how BJP and RSS conduct themselves. BJP is the second other side of the coin of RSS.
Sir, I asked you a very specific question.
I'm coming to that.
Specific question on anti-minority.
I'm coming to that, right? So when RSS sets a stage where Mohan Bhagwat is going to preach what he does not practice and his party BJP does not practice, we don't need to go to a BJP stage. If we want to argue with BJP, we'll come here on Times Now Studio or on other media platforms.
Again, my question was very specific, Ghanshyam Tiwari.
To your question about being anti-minority, the fact that today RSS is rejecting its own book of principles, the bunch of thoughts, which is a culmination of RSS view of who Hindus are, who Hindu Rashtra is, their view of the nation, that we have to be one. We cannot have differences to become a Hindu Rashtra. And Gandhi in 1909 wrote in Swaraj that...
So what is wrong in saying we are one?
Exactly.
And let's be united. Why have these differences between us?
Well, Gandhi and Lohia believed in different philosophy.
Be it based on caste.
Gandhi and Lohia believed in different philosophy. Lohia said that हमारे देश में जाति और धर्म को मिटाया नहीं जा सकता, लेकिन जाति और धर्म के भेदभाव को मिटाना जरूरी है. RSS believes कि in creating this farce of one, it does not matter. Sinha ji, Tiwari ji, Sambit Patra ji, all of us have our surnames. The caste stand very much within RSS. When the current president was elected as president, when current president was elected as president, it was BJP that announced from rooftop that we are electing a Dalit
Ghanshyam Tiwari saying it's a farce.
Was a socialist, and he's an icon in socialist movement.
All right, Dr. Sambit.
RSS is coming
Mr.
to the point
Tiwari,
where
you have to
Mahatma Gandhi was
a lot of socialist leaders had dialogue.
Can I just reply, please, Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari? If you allow me a few seconds,
we are a nation where everyone will come together. We will learn to live with one another without fighting one another.
What is wrong in that call for unity? What is wrong in that call for unity?
They nurtured hate for 70 years. Why was Mahatma Gandhi killed? Because one man thought that he was a better Hindu than Mahatma Gandhi.
Take a response. You believe it's a farce and it is just a repositioning. Dr. Sambit Patra, Ghanshyam Tiwari saying this is farce, this is just repositioning to become a more acceptable face.
See, ironically, for those people who, in fact, in all these TV debates, you remember for Mulayam Singh Yadav ji's party, the Samajwadi Party, the saying is the MY combination. Or for Mayawati, it is said the MD combination. And since time of the inception of these parties, it has been MY or MD. Ironically, they are speaking about the fact that they are asking me that by naming us Sambit Patra or Ghanshyam Tiwari, our caste is quite evident. As if the RSS was the one which gave us the surnames. As if the RSS was the one which created the caste system in India. In fact, if you would visit any of the RSS Sivir or any of the RSS camp, you would be glad to know, Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, that RSS only addresses the person by its first name. Surnames are a big ban in RSS.
Okay.
No one addresses in RSS with a surname.
BJP
and that, I believe, is one of the very bold and important steps akin to what Mr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar had said, that let's not step with the surname.
When we look at Modi Sarkar, not Narendra Sarkar.
Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, Vishali, why do you have to
come in.
shout when I was
Mishra,
speaking quietly?
Ashutosh Mishra, Mohan Bhagwat said Hindu is more of an identity, a national identity for everybody who's an Indian, and there is no outsider in India. Can actually the Congress or the opposition really still question RSS ideology and can find fault with it after this particular definition of RSS and their view on what Hindutva is all about?
So we were talking about, Dr. Patra was talking about intolerance, and you were asking questions that why Muslims are afraid of RSS. It was the clips that you were showing just before the program began. In that, Mr. Bhagwat said that we will say things that we believe in and you don't like. We will say it even then. When Dr. Pranab Mukherjee had gone to the RSS headquarters, the same Mr. Bhagwat had said that Pranab Mukherjee rahege, RSS rahegi. Nothing will change. So that means they have a closed mindset, and either you follow what they are doing, either you accept what they are doing, or they will not accept you.
What are they exactly doing? What exactly are they doing?
Mr. Tiwari very rightly,
I couldn't quite clearly get your point.
Exactly. The point is that RSS is unwilling to change. They told Mr.
How can
Bhagwat said it
on one
to Mr.
hand,
Mukherjee
on one hand,
that I am not
this is
ready to change.
repositioning. This is repositioning.
Today he said
this is repositioning before 2019. And Dr. Fuad Halim on the other hand is being said that RSS will never change. So what is this contradictory viewpoint here?
Yeah, exactly. So
Can I just take a few
they are
seconds
putting
to
on this
explain
mask. This was like a hapless father. Mr. Mohan Bhagwat was like a hapless father trying to wash the
again,
sense
you know,
of
on
his,
one hand you say it's
children
the
who have
most
been
powerful
playing truant.
organization, they
we have
interfere,
seen- we have
उनका
seen-
इंटरफेरेंस है,
we have
सरकार में
seen-
दखल है. दूसरी तरफ आप कह रहे हैं
Yes.
कि वो नहीं, ये किस तरह का
that's why-
कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी
and that's
व्यूपॉइंट आप
why-
ड्रॉ कर रहे
and
हैं?
that's-
Quickly,
they were
first
trying to
reaction from
hide the
Dr.
Modi
Fuad Halim,
government's
and then
failure,
okay,
and
okay, first Dr. Fuad Halim. I'll come to you, Ghanshyam Tiwari.
held in Vigyan Bhavan.
ठीक है, ठीक है, आशुतोष मिश्रा, reaction भी ले लीजिए इस पर.
Autonomous bodies only. Why was the RSS meeting being held there?
Okay,
because they control the government.
Okay, sir. Yes. Dr. Fuad Halim.
Yeah, you see, the underlying fact is very clear that the RSS is on a marketing pitch. It wants to what you call market itself as an organization that is embedded with the Indian idea of what Hindutva is, and what you call it, fundamental to that, it has to start off with the freedom struggle, and the RSS has no role in it. So they started with patting the Congress's back and saying that Mr. Hegdewar participated in the freedom movement.
So can you
that
tell me
Congress
your role in
actually
the freedom
announced.
movement?
So it starts off with
in
that and it continues
1942,
down.
Communist Party
But
was the
it does
Britishers,
not-
and
it
you
does-
were against
Mr.
the
Sinha, I
Quit
didn't
India
disturb you.
movement. You are
I
asking
didn't
the
disturb
RSS
you,
role in
Mr.
the freedom
Sinha.
movement.
Mr.
were
Sinha,
at
I
the
did not
forefront of
disturb
the
you. Please have the
Quit India
courtesy.
movement.
Please have the
We
courtesy.
were at the forefront
Kindly
Sir, let him quickly finish his point.
let me finish.
Okay, let him
Six
quickly finish his point,
Martin,
sir.
finish.
Just to unfurl the tricolor at the top of the police station.
All right.
Mr. Fuad Ali, 1962, your party was formed.
Yes,
because
let's
32 members of the
quickly
National
Would you
Council
please
of the
let him
NPI
finish, sir?
believed that
Mr. Sinha?
it was
Okay, Mr.
India
Sinha,
which
please, sir,
attacked
one
China.
second, let him
China
finish,
has
let
not
him
attacked
finish.
India.
Dr.
These
Fuad Ali, go
32
on,
members
please.
of the National Council of CPI formed the Communist Party of India Marxists.
All right, let him finish, sir. Let him finish.
You are preaching nationalism to the
उनको
Indian
उनको
people.
पूरा बोल लेने दीजिए.
Those
जी.
who betrayed India during 1962,
ठीक
those
है.
who betrayed India during 1942 moment.
ठीक है, अब जवाब भी ले लीजिए. Dr. Fuad Halim, please go on, sir.
And ask him
Yeah.
their
You see,
role in
the
1962.
problem is that the RSS
Why the
actually
CPI
doesn't
was
have
formed?
any
Why
legacy.
there was a split in the CPI in
Mr. Sinha,
1964?
would you be kind enough to let me speak? Are you kind enough to ask questions? You know,
No,
this
I
is
have
exactly
asked
what
just
this
the question.
entire
No,
question
please, let's
answer
not
session is
talk
about.
over
Because
each
the
other.
RSS does
Let's-
not
let's-
want to listen to
let's
questions.
listen to each other. Yes,
Why
please.
did
Dr.
CPM
Fuad Halim, sir,
was
continue.
formed?
I'm not going to talk over
What
him.
was
If
the
he wants
reason
to
for
talk,
the
he
No,
can
no,
go
I'm
ahead and talk.
requesting both of you.
What
Please,
was the
please,
reason
I'm
for the
requesting
split
both
in
of you.
the
I
राकेश
will
सिन्हा जी,
speak
please.
only once he's
सुन
silent.
लीजिए राकेश सिन्हा जी. हाँ, डॉक्टर फुआद अलीम, आप जल्दी से अपना पॉइंट पूरा कीजिए प्लीज.
Yeah. You know, the fundamental question that should be addressed by the RSS is that if the RSS organization has a role in the freedom struggle, then somewhere in its legacy and documents it will be present. It will be present as a resolution, it will be present as a movement. Something will be written from 1925 when the RSS is formed till 1947, 15th August. published in a way that the people of India can appreciate it, and Mohan Bhagwat can actually wag it in the front of the eyes of the communists and say, see, this is my resolution, this is the movement that I organize, this is where the RSS actually on a collective decision
I need to come in over here, please.
British. You know, that's the question that they have to answer.
Sambit Patra, इसके साथ एक छोटा सा सवाल ये भी है, because people are also asking, especially Muslims पर और minorities पर जो कहा है मोहन भागवत ने उसके बाद कि आरएसएस के कोर ग्रुप में क्या अब इन्वॉल्वमेंट बढ़ेगा माइनॉरिटीज का?
See, I will answer both your questions, but let me just take a small detour to answer what my friend Mr. Fuad Halim had to say. Mr. Fuad Halim, it is astonishing that you are asking about the patriotism of RSS and whether RSS fought for the freedom struggle. Let me just remind you of the fact that the grand old man of the left, Mr. V.S. Achyutanandan.
Please convince me with your documents.
Sir, please, can I talk, sir? You were offended right now when you were interrupted. When you were interrupted, you were offended.
Patra,
I did not interrupt.
Quote a document.
Sir, can I please talk? I will produce documents also.
I asked you, my question was very clear.
Can I please talk,
quote
sir?
a document,
you had an objection when Rakesh Sinha was interrupted.
Now let me answer.
Please, sir, I gave you an opportunity. I asked him to give you an opportunity.
Look at his hypocrisy.
So
he had an objection, but he would not allow me to speak.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Let me just remind the viewers of the fact that the grand old man of the left, Mr. V.S. Achyutanandan, was demoted only because of the fact that way back in 1962, when the India-China war was fought, the grand old man then, not so old then, he had advocated that Indian Jawans should be given blood by the CPIM workers, that CPIM workers should donate blood to Indian Jawans, to which an objection was taken by the CPIM Politburo because they only stood for donating blood to the Chinese Jawan, not to the Indian Jawan.
Also, you know,
just imagine these people today wanting a certificate.
Okay.
I mean, wanting to give a certificate to us. Now coming to the Muslim issue. I just want to remind you, since the youngsters also form a great chunk of the viewers today, I would request them please go to one of the famous speeches of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, when he was the Minister of External Affairs, he had gone to Afghanistan. The hotel in which he stayed was Kanishk. And you know what Atal Bihari Vajpayee says? He says कि मेरे होटल का नाम कनिष्क था. मैंने अफगानिस्तान के विदेश मंत्री से पूछा इस होटल का नाम क्या है? ये कनिष्क कौन है आपका? आप जानती हैं अफगानिस्तान के विदेश मंत्री ने क्या कहा? अफगानिस्तान के विदेश मंत्री ने कहा अटल जी कनिष्क मेरा पूर्वज है. हमने अपनी पूजा करने की पद्धति बदल दी होगी, पूर्वज नहीं बदले. No, Fuad Halim wants to join RSS. I welcome Fuad Halim to join RSS.
Please, sir, I asked you a very specific question.
Of course.
No, I asked you a very specific question, sir. Officially, minorities के लिए RSS अपने दरवाजे कब खोलेगा?
In favor of the freedom movement.
Core group में, when would we see some prominent minority faces?
Ma'am, you are unaware of the fact. Anyone can become part of RSS. जो ध्वज प्रणाम करेंगे, मैं तो रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ फुआद हलीम जी कल आए, ध्वज प्रणाम करें और आरएसएस के मेंबर बने, कोर ग्रुप में भी लिए जाएंगे. फुआद जी आइए, ध्वज प्रणाम करेंगे.
One document, one paper, one movement, one date.
See, you have to understand. You have to understand as to how, in fact, Mr. Rakesh Sinha would explain this in more clarity. You have to understand that anyone can become member of RSS by, in fact, doing the Dhwaja Pranam. That is the flag prostration. So, of course, if any minority, like instance, my brother, Mr. Fuad Halim, wants to be a part of RSS, he can just visit any of the shakhas of RSS tomorrow, and he can do a Dhwaja Pranam, and he would be a member of RSS.
Then why not, officially make them part of the core group? प्रचारक माइनॉरिटीज क्यों नहीं बन सकते? उनको हिस्सा बनाना जरूरी. वो आकर के
first they have to come. No
जी बोलिए.
Let me ask this question. If I say that tomorrow I want to become the editor-in-chief of Times Now, will you allow that? You will say, please come to our organization, join it as a reporter, first as a journalist, then go through the process, and once you have satisfied everything, then you would become the editor-in-chief also.
माइनॉरिटी का चार्ज लगाती है, जिस पर जवाब दिया मोहन भागवत ने. He said ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. RSS is for all. Nobody is an outsider, and Muslims को डरने की जरूरत नहीं है RSS से. Based on those facts, I'm asking this question. Let me take that across to Rakesh Sinha quickly, if you could respond, sir. I have very limited time now.
You know, RSS is an organization which invites each and every patriotic person, and even the many Christians and Muslims are part of the RSS. We don't count the Muslim, Christian, Hindus in the Shakha as the Congress was counting the Hindus and Muslims in the Indian army. They tried to count the Hindus and Muslims in the Indian army in the past. I'm telling you one glaring fact, that those who leave home and hearth and join RSS for the social and cultural work, they are classless and casteless people. Anyone who joins, renounce his family, renounce his background, and he can go ahead any position in the RSS. The renouncement does not need your caste
my very
background,
specific question,
does not need your
it was
religious background.
unanswered. But all right, on that note, I'd like to thank all our guests. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. RSS का व्यू पॉइंट आपने सुना, लेकिन उस पर ऑपोजिशन के भी कुछ सवाल हैं जिस पर बहस आगे भी 2019 तक या शायद उसके बाद तक भी जारी रहेगी. और on that note, taking a very short break here on the news hour at 10. Coming up on the other side is Clash with Athar and Madhav. Stay tuned.